It was early spring of 1992 or 93, I believe. Probably 93, maybe 94, early spring. I had taken to living on the Appalachian Trail just to have a place to be, to live. I was living at Full Heart Knob, a hiker's shack lean to, cold as heck up there. And it was off Mountain Pass Road and Troutville, where I went up and down and lived and on back and forth on the trail and starved and froze over the years. I've put who I am, Margaret Ann Windsor. I was kidnapped in 1941, age 2, and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey. I married Childers. I have to use that name still. I found out about my kidnapping. My father's Edward VIII, who was married to my mom, and she was Queen of England in 1936. So the whole takedown of my father was character assassination. He never married Wallace Simpson. She married a double, and imposters posed, married her, one of them did, and posed as my father, King Edward VIII, and with ludicrous behavior, and it was blamed on my father. My father remained married to my mom October the 20th of 86. They were both still alive and married to each other. So this whole takedown, Elizabeth and her father inheriting, is a lie. And they're nothing but war criminals, and they're illegitimate. You know, the twins, where I was put there by JFK and the Illuminati that took my father down, the twins were born out of wedlock. And back then it was horrible that kids would be taunted, that they were bastards. Since they gave me her identity and she was fed to the pigs, about a week to 2 weeks before I was dropped off there, so it was playing. So I grew up in a hellhole, taken from my family, loving arms at age 2. By the way, I was Queen Victoria II. I am the legal heir to the British crown. My father never meant to leave. He wouldn't follow the orders of the Illuminati. He had integrity. Wow, wasn't much of that around, was it? And hasn't been since, because Elizabeth, that whole group know about my kidnapping. Diana knew. They were told not to tell about it. Well, the whole family knew when I was kidnapped back then. Some tried to help, and I know that because I met one. Probably more than one. And he was, let's say the German side tried to help me. And the British. I know that now. The British people. I found out in '83 about my my kidnapping after being in a campaign. Now then, in October of '86, I came to Roanoke and I lived up on the trail and froze. I almost died up there more than once and starved. Now I wanted to put this down. There's a time to this, so someone should know it other than me that it happened. I was up at Full Heart Knob, the hikers, Full Heart Knob there, and that was when there was just one trail that came up from Mountain Pass Road, and people that lived across wouldn't. It's been a sick joke everybody's had. I've forgotten their name. It's the name where George Bush Jr., the president, where he lives. What's the name of that town? Anyway, that's their name, and they lived across the highway there, small highway, Mountain Pass. You went up the old trail. So I was up there, and this was, might have been 93, early 93 spring. It can be told or dated when it happened because the new trail was being built from it's still on Mountain Pass, but it was going toward the post office in Troutville and Lee Highway. And it was built coming up there, and it was finished that year that this happened. So they can be found out. The Appalachian Trail would have records. I had frozen and starved, and I'm looking down the trail. And I thought, well, that looks like John Kennedy. They came up They had backpack on, him and his buddy. They put it on the table, picnic table. He brought out his food. He had peanuts, I remember that, and I was so hungry. So I told him, I said, you look like John Kennedy. He said, that's who I am. Okay, with him was his buddy, his cousin Anthony Radswell. He is the daughter of Jackie, John's mother. Jackie Radswell, she married. That's her son that was with him, their cousins. Okay, they ate. They had the backpack and all. And I told him he looked like John. He said, that's who I am. And that was his cousin. So we talked a few minutes, and at least I got to tell him after he said this, I believe it was after, he said he was John Kennedy, and they came up just to see how they had made me live. So they were very aware, John Kennedy and his magazine, George. I mean, they've gotten away with all kinds of murder, with kidnapping me, and how they made me live, and people should be shown it. It's a horrible life, the crimes against me and my sons, Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me. King Edward VIII and Claudia Ruth O'Keefe are their grandparents, and my mom was queen, and they remained married. So they not only took my father down because he wouldn't follow the orders of the Illuminati, they kidnapped me when I was born 2 years later, and that would have taken down illegal George VI, who was put there by the Illuminati to replace my father. So here's your line of the monarchy. So Elizabeth is a high ranking with the global government, the ones that kidnapped me, the Illuminati. She's always known who my mommy, all of it. They all have. And they've covered it up. They just don't speak about it. And that's what she told Diana. That's William and Harry's mom. She always knew. Everybody has known it. And the press is controlled. Now then, they left, and I assume they flew down. I think he said that they flew down. I'm pretty sure they did. And they had the gear and everything, and they went out the other way. So I'm assuming, I don't know if they went out and came out on the Blue Ridge, because the new trail wasn't, you got the old trail and new trail, wasn't finished till the next spring. So that's the date where he flew in, just prior to the new one being built, to Full Heart Knob and attached itself to the Appalachian Trail. So now then, I want to mention this. They packed their food up, and I'm a joke. I'm standing there freezing. I'm the Queen of England, and they're laughing in my face. Came up all this way in a plane and all this, and they're here to see how they made me live. Well, here's what happened later. I've been telling people, I was writing a book about mind control. I was writing about Tesla files stolen in 1930, and I was doing this when Larry Flint was shot. It was a program shooter that shot him in March of 78. I was living in Marietta, Georgia, and he was shot in Lawrenceville, nearby Georgia, in Georgia. So back to this family. Lost my train of thought now, and I guess I have. It's horrifying what was allowed to happen. Anyway, I wrote a book about mind control, and it was doctors like Congressman Larry McDonald was part of it, and connections to the Center for Disease Control. The good guy in this listed my 10 cases, or 10 of my cases, in the back of one of his last books he published. Dr. Jonas Robicher. He was over law and psychiatry at Emory University. Very good man. The Power of Psychiatry, I think, was his last one, and he was murdered, is how they did it. Now I want to get back to this. Tesla files that were stolen showed how you could program people to do whatever they're told to do, commit suicide and make it look when it's really murder by mind control, or you program them to shoot or a knife or whatever, run the car into the river and drown, develop cancer, make it. They could create an illness or cure it. And that's one of the reasons Dr. Warren and Rosina Matthews, who were forensic pathologists at Piedmont Hospital, where Congressman Dr. Larry McDonald practiced medicine, and he was went down in the KAL supposedly that went down from um, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea, August 31st of '83. Of course, Diana, everybody loves all these people, and they will hate me for putting this up. I hope what's been done to me and my children, family, and country is spread all over the world. I really do, and people have to look at the ugliness. While these people have flaunted my money, my country's money, whether they know it or not, but there's plenty of my countrymen that did come after me, or I wouldn't be alive, and the Germans and some Americans. Here is what followed after the Kennedy went down. And remember, I wrote about cancer and you can cure it, or the Tesla files being stolen, and about murders at Redstone Arsenal that Bonnie Saylor, when I worked for the district attorney in '80, she came to me and asked me to help because her husband had top security out at Redstone Arsenal, and they were ready to retire, him and his two buddies that worked in the lab, and suddenly within 3 months they all died. Her husband died supposedly of a rifle to his head, but he was in a bathtub, which is circumstances made it crazy. Of course he didn't. And the other one died of a rare cancer that developed over just a short period of time. The other one drove his car into the Tennessee River and drowned. Now, it's okay. Obviously, a lot of people think it's okay for all this. And I haven't even been able to put all of it up. It's hideous what was done to me and my children, my mom and dad, and to my country. But I'm going to put down what happened after this. You've got Diana died August the 31st, 1997. You can also reverse the numbers, which is done in this, to 79, which is when I got the letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of 79. June 23rd is my father's birthday. Okay, I got the letter in 79, and you can fast forward. It was an ongoing investigation, national security involved, is what they said. I was almost killed April Fool Day and taken across a state line where I worked for the district attorney, Madison County, Huntsville, Fred Simpson, in 1980, in the condition I was in. So when Kennedy Jr. came up there and his cousin, they knew all this. My God, they sought me out on the Appalachian Trail to laugh in my face at a hiker's shelter with all their food, and I had nothing freezing. Must be cute to walk up and see the Queen of England that your dad and your grandfather helped kidnap and stand there freezing, and my children, Mark and Scott, I don't know where they are. They went through hell. I hope they're alive. Okay, so you can get mad at me. That's where it's all been when I've tried to tell this. Okay, Diana died August 31st, which is when in August 31st of '83 that Larry McDonald, the congressman doctor I wrote about, was supposed to have gone down from in Alaska. It was en route to KL to, I don't know why I'm blanking out. It wasn't Anchorage. It's I'm blanking out the name of the city suddenly. But the plane went down August the 31st of '83, and I was flown out to Mr. Flint's in the campaign to replace him in October. Well, the only connection there, Diana, is August 31st, and you can reverse the 97 to 79. That's how old I am now. When the FBI letter came, and I was told it should end now. Whether it ends in my favor and justice, a touch of it's done, I don't know. 79 years old. So I'm going to go back. And by the way, Diana, I don't know how people love all this people. They've been a cover-up of the theft of their country, of the real monarch, the illegal takedown, and horrible in what they've done to my sons and me. I want to get back to this, though. August the 12th, 1999, Anthony Raswell, the young man that was in with JFK and came up to the trail and taunted me with their food and etc. and said they came to see how they made me live. He's first cousin and close friend of John F. Kennedy Jr. Died after a long battle with cancer, his family announced. It was so soon after the death of JFK Jr., and they're talking about how horrible it was to their family for the losses. JFK Jr., let's see, I put that down, don't let me have lost it. What date did he, well, I had it, now I don't. JFK Jr. died, July, when did he die? Oh, I can't believe I put it down. I was trying to show the, well, I guess I don't have it. He was born, he died in 1999. I know he did because he died July the 19th of 99. JFK Jr. did, and then Anthony Raswell, his first cousin that I'm talking about, died August the 12th of 1999. JFK Jr. went down on a plane, and I'll leave it there.